Hi, this is Daniel Metler from 2SEC Internet Solutions. Today I'd like to show you something very special we did in 2SexyContent because we really believe that the classic way of actually working with structured data in the content management system sucks. And we think the users don't really get it. And I'd like to explain this to you based on a simple example that'll probably feel common. Let's assume, let me just change websites here, that you have a website which has some normal content. This may even be a text HTML. Of course, it's a 2SexyContent. And let's assume at the bottom you have an information from an employee of yours that moderated this session. Now, you may actually not realize how nasty the way we usually do this is. The typical example to get this record here is by actually going through this process. Typically, you would first make an employees page where you would put all the structured employee data in some kind of a XMod, listen form, whatever. And you would then create this employees list, you would specify all the columns and all that, and you would add every employee to that page. Because we're managing data, right? And then it gets even nastier. Then you'd go to the content page itself. You'd like say add module with details, blah blah blah. You would configure it to show an employee and not, for example, a product. And then you would choose which employees to show, and then you'd finally be done. And if you think about it, darn, that sucks. The programmer kind of thinks in tables and records, so he doesn't really notice that it's really nasty. But if you've ever tried to teach users to do this, you will very quickly realize this is weird. And it gets way worse when you go multi-languages or when you need mobile support. Like multi-language, you'll usually end up having way more fields, the German title, the English title, the French title, or any other kind of managing this, and it gets really, really nasty. And we just said this has to work differently, and we said we would like to do it like this. We want to go to a page, and we want to add an employee. We don't want to do all the other stuff or even force the editor to understand any of the data part. We want him to manage content, not data. And I'd love to show you this now. Let me just go back to the browser. I have a blank page here, and I will, in rather quick mode, add a content module. Now, just to explain that what you'll see in a moment is demo content, I will first say I would like to show you simple content. And you'll see there's some content here. Simple content. And this is not content that was added to a content list and now selected to show this item from the content list. It doesn't work that way. This is just content. Now, same thing if I add an employee or want to show an employee. I will already see data. This is demo data, not an employee from an employee list. Very simple. The content editor says I want an employee because he wants to add one. Then he will choose which kind of a presentation he would like. This one or this one. No big deal. Very simple to do. He just chooses what he wants to show, and then he will start editing it. And that's it. He didn't even see that there might be a list of these things. He just said, I want an employee and I want to add him. So this is Marcus Schmidt. And the first name, of course, is Marcus Schmidt. And you see, I just added a user, an employee, exactly here where I wanted him. And this may feel trivial, but it isn't, trust me. Anybody that's tried to teach people how to do it, let me just quickly click for an employee here. Okay, let's add Rafael. Anybody that's tried to teach a user will immediately see that this is so much simpler. And yeah, all the other scenarios too, multi-language as well. So we believe we've made things very differently than most tools do it. And we think this difference is so important because it's kind of like comparing Typo 3 with .NetNuke. In Typo 3 you have this backend with data management, blah blah blah. But the old way of doing it was just like that. There was a backend, it wasn't the front end, but it was still a table with data and records. Here we're just working, we're just getting our stuff done. So this is really elegant. We love it. Our customers do, and I'm sure you will too. Now, I have a few questions I just wrote down for myself that you might have. One of the questions typically that pops up is, could I reuse the content? In other words, on another page, I would like to show Marcus again, and can I reuse him? Because I don't want to type him in twice. And the answer is yes, absolutely no problem. Let me just quickly show that. I'm just going to add another module here. So if I want to reuse him, but remember, it's just an option. And let's say I would actually like to reuse him in a different look, for example, like in this look. Then yes, I can easily reuse him. I can always choose to not type in anything, but replace it with existing content. In this case, I could say, please use here Marcus Schmidt that I just created. And this works. So can I reuse the content? Absolutely. This is the same content, record. So if I edited it, it would change in both places. So let's just, for demo's sake, say his name isn't Marcus, his name is Mandy. Now it's suddenly a girl, huh? And yes, I've reused the content, but the user just is editing content, not data. You see now the previous one has Mandy Schmidt, the other one has Mandy Schmidt. Reusing content, absolutely no problem. But the way of doing it is way more intuitive. Second question I had is, can I still create a list of employees and things like that? And the answer is, of course, yes. 2SexyContent has this feature called list, and every developer first thinks this is a stupid idea because they think, well, that's standard. But we're going the other way. We're saying this is how users think of things. So just for example, if I wanted to add a video, then we have a toList column. So I add a video, I edit it, and then I can just hit plus and then I'll have another one. And then I can hit plus again and I'll have another one. And this is very different than thinking in tables. This is thinking in content. And if I have another list of videos on another page, I'm still thinking in content. It's not a big list with a filtered view on this page and a filtered view on that page. And to sort them on this view, I have to enter a number in this column. And to sort them in that view, I will have to enter a number in another column. It doesn't work like that. It's content. And if I want to sort them, then of course I can using drag and drop. And I'm just working on this list here, and I can just, drag and drop them. They have the same title, so it's not going to be very spectacular what you see. But yes, lists work, and it's much, much more content-oriented and not data-oriented. People love this. Next question. Can I still create a database-style application with 2SexyContent? Absolutely. One of our coolest systems we've ever made with it is actually, if we go to Ricardo, this is something like eBay, just in some of the European countries. eBay is not strong, but Ricardo is. Here we have a FAQ system which is based on 2SexyContent, really powerful stuff in the background. We're using Knockout.js, we're using JSON. This stuff is super fast, but all the data is actually handled in 2SexyContent. So if I can say I have a question about login, you see how fast this thing responded. Or if I write anything like, I have a problem, well, great, this thing is wonderful, and it's done in 2SexyContent. So the answer is yes, it's very easy to make such things, but for 95% of the situations, it's not a good idea. Because people don't think in tables, people don't think in records, people just think in, oh, I have a nice picture and a title and I'd have to put it there. Or, I have a short description of my product, there's 4 numbers, and I just need to get it there. And they don't think in data. So, try to avoid even talking about data or records or whatever with your customer. Just talk about content and about design. And they'll love you for it, and it's really, really easy to do in 2SexyContent. Yep, I think those are all the questions that I just had. Looks like it. I hope you were very, very inspired. And I hope you will want to try it out for yourself. Go to 2SexyContent.org. This was Daniel Mettler, 2SEC Internet Solutions. Thank you for watching.